Hi everybody, welcome. My name is Kate Sender. I'm the organizer of the BAM, which is the Coalition to Defend Affirmative Action, Integration, Immigrant Rights, and Fight for Equality by any means necessary. I just wanted to give like an introduction, and then we're going to have people come up and speak, and then we want to take a vote on a set of demands and actions, like a plan of action. Right now, the struggle in Ferguson, Missouri against police brutality and against racism, the struggle of people really taking matters into their own hands and not listening to, people telling them to calm down, has really opened up a new period of struggle. And I think we're seeing that reflected in this campus. We're living in a time when there's both growing inequality but also renewed fight for equality against racism, for immigrant rights, like everywhere in the world. And I think just the other day we saw 300 students that marched to the president's house to protest the policy of the athletic department, the policy of the administration to exploit student athletes, to put their profits before the health and well-being of players and students. And I think that probably a year ago or 2 years ago that protest wouldn't have happened. And I think that whether people know it or not, they are there has been a struggle emboldened by the struggle in Ferguson, and we really want to use that to build the movement on this campus and beyond this campus. The increase in police brutality and in militarization of the police goes hand in hand with the cuts to education, cuts to opportunities, and means that there's more struggle, there's more clashes, there's going to be more struggle on this campus. U of M has been at the center of the struggle for equality, for integration, for a long time. And when the attacks on affirmative action first started in the 90s, BAM formed around defending affirmative action, because we saw that the attack on those gangs from the civil rights movement was an opportunity for us to build a new civil rights movement. And that was when I joined BAM, and would lead to a broader attack on public education and on everything that Brown versus Board of Education won. And that absolutely became true. We saw that not only have there been worsening conditions on this campus with the drop in numbers of minority students, worse conditions for everybody. I have seen so many people be driven off this campus by the level of racism, the way that the university deals with sexual assault, covering it up, blaming the victim, and just the level of the amount of depression and isolation that people feel on this campus. I've seen a lot of people leave, and I feel like we have a chance now to turn that around and make the campus what we want it to be. We've also seen at the same time that the cutting off of opportunities for students to come to this campus has led to unprecedented cuts in education in Detroit, and this university has been kind of at the forefront of a lot of those attacks on Detroit public schools and on the city of Detroit. And it's been a combination of cuts to programs, cuts to opportunities, and increased repression in the schools, more police in the schools, more security, more focused on like school uniforms than like on actual education, and like those things have really gone together. But there's been a fight going on, like of Detroit students united with students on this campus to build a movement that can change the conditions here in Detroit, and be a model for how to fight and win. And I just want to say like a little history, like because I think it has been like the student struggle of this campus that has made it like, that has shaped like what's actually best about this campus. And in 1970, the Black Action Movement, which was led by a small number of Black students who were on this campus, mostly from Detroit, who led and united the whole campus and really mobilized the whole campus to shut it down in a 3-week student strike. And that was those actions won the first affirmative action programs that opened up this campus to Black, Latino, Native American, Asian students, to working class and poor students of all backgrounds, and women. And that is that's the model that we're fighting with now. And over the last 40-something years, we've seen from the university, we've seen a lot of broken promises. Like they promised in 1970 that by 1973 there would be 10% Black students on this campus, and that promise was never met. And the percentage of Black students on this campus is less than it was in 1973, which is really outrageous. And I think that the struggle that we make on this campus can go way far beyond this campus, and we want it to really be a place where that's really accountable to the public. It's a public university that's accountable to the public, that is really that the purpose of the research and everything that goes on here is to serve humanity. And I think we want for this tribunal for anyone to come up and speak and talk about your experience on this campus. I think there's a lot at this university that kind of makes people to feel you shouldn't be angry, you should kind of just that people shouldn't express their anger. And I think that we want this to be a place where we want to say people should feel you should be angry about the conditions on this campus and whatever has happened on this campus. You should be angry, you have a right to be angry. And I think what we want to do here today is both expose the truth, but also to vote and plan actions for the future for how we're going to change the conditions here. So.
Hello everyone, my name is Jose Varenga, and I'm a national organizer with BAM, that stands for the Coalition to Defend Affirmative Action, Integration, and Immigrant Rights, and Fight for Equality by any means necessary. I'm also an undocumented immigrant from Honduras, and I'm really happy to be here speaking to students in this campus at what I think is going to be a really historic semester in this campus, in which students, inspired by the actions that have been going on in Ferguson and that are already being spread to other parts of the country, like LA and Hong Kong, and that we can bring that spirit of Ferguson into this campus and make a real turnaround of the atmosphere of this campus to make it a really welcoming campus for all students, to make it to be what this campus, what this university says to be to students when you fill out your application to come to this university, when you're looking at websites, what is the best university that fits to your dreams and aspirations, and that this university has failed to provide that college experience for students in this campus for far too long, and especially to Black and Latino, Native American, Muslim, and other minority and women students on this campus, but there has been too many years, too many cycles of broken promises, of false illusions to students in this campus, and that we really have an opportunity, coming of the actions of Ferguson, to take matter into our own hands in this campus, to take the example of the leaders that we learn about and that we hear about of the old civil rights movement that made history not by, the degrees that they got from famous universities or just simple speeches, but people who were ready to take action. And that with action inspired thousands of young people to take action as well and change this country for the better for everybody. And I think we can definitely, this event tonight can be definitely the start for that to start happening. And we also want to have people see this fight as part of a fight, not just as an isolated fight in this campus of students in this campus, of the struggles of students in this campus, but also the fights that we're waging in other cities across the country. BAM is a national and international organization. We have chapters in LA, in the Bay Area, in San Francisco, Oakland, and a chapter in Britain and London. And we see the importance of building a new civil rights movement in our lifetime, learning from the greatest, civil rights leaders, of the old civil rights leaders, and of leading our communities through mass militant actions in our lifetime. And I think that it's really important for students in this campus to see yourselves as leaders of a national movement, that students in other campuses across the country, whether in California or in New York or in Texas, are facing the same issues of racism, of sexism, of sexual assault and rape in their campus, of low numbers of minority students and mistreatment of minority students, of police brutality in their own campuses, of seeing the deterioration of public education in their campuses, of feeling castigated and more overwhelmed by the growing inequality in this society. And they are too looking for people who want to take action and provide answers to what we can do to lessen the inequality in our lifetime and to build a fight on the picture, on the example of the old civil rights movement that can change society for the better in our lifetime. And I think it's really important for students today to come forward and speak about your experiences in this campus, but also, bring in with you your whole experience of who you are, of where you come from. And I want students to really be thinking about, when some of our people are going to be speaking today, to be thinking if you've been one of those students that have failed in this campus, that constantly, either in classrooms or in your work, in job site, or in this campus in general, that you felt that you had to be the sole representative for your race, the sole representative for your gender, the sole representative for your country if you're an immigrant student. And what does it feel like to have that pressure on you on a day-to-day basis? What does it feel to walk in this campus and brush off and tell yourself that those little incidents of racism, of sexism, that you have to brush off every day in this campus because you feel like it is part of a condition that you have to accept in order to get the quality of education that you have worked so hard to get here. But I also want you to think, if the education that you are getting, it is the education that you thought that you were going to get. It is the experience that you thought that you were going to get when you applied to this university. And so without further ado, I just want to introduce Angelica, who is a freshman this year and has been a real leader in putting forward and talking about her experience dealing with racism and sexism in this campus, but also dealing with police brutality outside of this campus and how important it is to connect that fight with what's going on outside of this campus and with what's going on inside of this campus as well. So, Angelica.
Hi everyone, my name is Angelica Davis and I'm a freshman here at So I joined this group because I do feel like this is a huge problem in this area and outside of this area, all over, honestly. So during this last summer that I spent before I came here, I had a couple experiences with police brutality, and it was really just like simple acts, like day-to-day acts that I would do with my friends. So, like, and this is in the suburbs outside of Detroit. It's called Oak Park. We were all at the park riding bikes, and they had BB guns with them, and they were shooting, doing whatever stuff. And before we were told that it was okay as long as we didn't break anything and do any public damage. So we were doing that, and we were on our way back home. And within 2 blocks of the school that we were at, we were stopped, and all of my friends were stopped, pulled off their bikes, and put into handcuffs and thrown inside the back of a police car. But with me and another kid in exclusion, we were set aside and put on the curb of the sidewalk. And so they started questioning my friends, who were all darker skin tone, and they started making racist comments, saying all types of things like, "So are you from Detroit? Yeah, you fucker shouldn't be here." All this shit that's basically saying that we're making our city worse. And so after they're done basically humiliating my friends, they come to the curb and they start asking us questions, and you can clearly tell the difference between the way that they're treating us and the way that they're treating my other friends. And at that point, like, you could tell, like, there's clearly, me and my friend who are lighter skinned should not be treated any differently than people of darker skin tone. It's not fair. And so as we're realizing that, we're looking back at our friends and they're in the car, and my friend's talking to the police officer, and he tells him, "Don't move." And so my friend's like, "Okay, I'm not gonna move." And he said, "Make one more move and I'll blow your fucking head off." Those exact words. And do you know how crazy that is for an 18-year-old boy to hear that? That scares the life out of somebody. And so after this whole thing, I called my mom. She came and identified everyone of us, told her that there was no harm done, so we should just move on. And after that experience, all of my friends, they didn't go out at night for like a week. And that's so frightening, so scary. What type of person wants to be under that type of pressure every day? Be stopped for doing normal activities on a normal day. We were really just being innocent kids out doing what kids do, and that was just like, that was really, it was frustrating to know that things like that still exist outside of like that time era. And so after I heard about what happened in Ferguson, I really realized that racism really truly still exists. So, and I really wanted to find a way to fight against it, and that's what led me to BAM. So I just wanted to let you guys know that that's one of my experiences. So feel free to come and share your own.
Thank you, Angelica. I think for freshman students coming to this campus, those first weeks are really important in setting the tone for what this rest of the semester are going to be for you, not just in academics, but in your social life as well. And having a campus in which your introduction to this campus is through hostility for being a woman and a minority student can definitely set the tone for the rest of the semester as well. And so I think it's also, as an immigrant student and a minority student, having a place at one of these universities is very limited, and it's something that you definitely work for, and that you work for twice as hard, if not as much, as many of the students work currently here, and that you definitely work for with an illusion of what you think that this campus is going to be for you, that you can get the best experience that you can get, and be able to have the atmosphere where you can develop your full potential. But as we have been talking about and building for this tribunal, the hostility of this campus towards minority students, women and immigrant students, which is growing more and more, makes that the more difficult as time goes by. And I want to introduce one of the students who I thought had like really great stories of exactly what is the racism of this university that we talk about, the mistreatment of minority students that we talk about. And his name is Simene Gebremariam. He's from Ethiopia and he's a PhD student in anthropology, and I just wanted to invite him to come up and speak on what his experience has been at the University of Michigan.
Hi guys. Actually, I'll try to make it as humorous as possible and take it to a fun level. And I would like to tell you my own experience, my own sexism, my own racist thoughts, which have been challenged in a very few everyday type of experience I have. And people get upset if you tell them they are racist. Everybody is racist. I'm sexist. How could I be not sexist? I mean, I'll prove to you how I'm sexist is while I'm preaching and joining this club. In any case, let me start telling you my story. I came to US about 3 years ago. I came before as a Brown summer fellow. I moved in to Ann Arbor, finding a couple of jobs and getting admitted to the anthropology department, which is #1 in the whole country, as you may all know. And I have many stories. I'll just tell you the short one, the very recent one. And I live in one of the student co-op housings. You guys are aware of that, right? So what happened was the first morning I moved in, a guy from he is a PhD student. Actually, he's a medical doctor. I don't know what he's studying. I never had a conversation with him. In 6 weeks, I only met him twice. So here it goes the story. So it was an early morning. I walked to the kitchen, and he just tried to ask me and say, "Are you the only man living here?" And I said, "I'm sorry. Are you the only man living here?" And I thought he was a security guard or some kind of authority, and he said, "What's the problem? I'm 36 and I live here. I don't know if that makes me an old guy. What's the problem?" And he said, "Oh, I knew that." And that moment, I thought I was in my worst dressing. I don't know if I should have applied some makeup to meet this guy. That I was in my old clothing. I thought that he assumed that I broke in and he found me in the kitchen while exploring the house. That's fun. This all I tell you is the background. I'll tell you two background and directly to the story. The second time I met this guy, we had a washing machine, rather a sanitizer, so he was complaining about students are not using the sanitizer, and I told him, "Oh, if I knew how to use this, I would have used it. I would have raised the dishes." And he said, "Can't you read? It's all written." Excuse me, I know how to read. I'm here at Michigan, come on. He said, "Oh, if you can't read, I can read it for you. You can't read in worship." I mean, why do you have to talk to me like that? Hey, the question is, can you read or not? That was anyway easy. Since then, I never met this guy. I have been avoiding him whenever he cooks, whenever he's around the dinner table. All my point to you is how this everyday sexist, racist behavior. You hear people saying, "Oh, I have black friends," or "I'm married to a black guy," or "I'm married to a Latino." Uh, that's that has nothing to do with racism. And I can give a lecture. I'm an anthropologist, which is responsible for one of the predominant sexist, racist ideology. In any case, what happened, the main story I'm telling you in few sentences is what happened exactly a week from now. So a fire alarm, a false alarm went off, and we were scared. The house was one of the victims last year. There was a huge fire which destroyed half the house, so everybody was scared. And you know, if the policemen came, they charge you about 250 or 300. So some students, you know, they are kids most of the time. They were worried about the, you know, the share they are going to pay. So this guy walked in and said, "Are you starting the fire?" And, to begin with, he doesn't even know my name, and I just smiled. And that passed. And the policeman came, and what happened next is the most disturbing thing I experienced. So, in front of these two police officers, out of the blue moon, he just said, "These two policemen are here to deport you." And I say, "What do you mean?" "They are here to deport you, to return you back." Why do you make this kind of joke? It's not funny. And he tried to prove very hardly, he tried to show off how persuasive argument he has, the cliche argument you may know. When black people make jokes about black people, you find it funny. What's wrong when it's white people? To begin with, I'm not speaking about black or white. I mean, I've seen many of white friends, Latino, black guys, New African Americans, I don't know how they call us. Black. There's nothing black, white. It's brown. What other colors are there? I don't know. In any case, I came here for two reasons. First, I need a support from such groups because I have tried to talk to him, followed everything, and the last attempt I had was he came and said, "The student president asked me to come and to talk to you. I'm here to explain myself. What do you have to explain?" And he said, "To begin with, they were not policemen; they were firefighters." So making jokes about it, all my point is, like I said, how forgive my English, you know, I just English is my third language. So in any case, what I would like to tell you is, among this situation, our student president, whose family is from India, tried to set up a bunch of meetings, and she challenged me once, saying, "Hey, you pretend to be very liberal and talking about this, but you never address me when we have meeting. Whenever there is a guy, a bad guy, you are addressing them." So I was shocked that she was telling the truth. So our perception. I don't want to make it bitter, but I could have told you more sad stories, and I was not ready to speak. Friends just invited me.
You should speak about your experience with administration.
Yeah, and his administration, some of like the dean of students, there is an office called Oscar. I don't remember what it stands for. And they were very irritated. They say, "Hey, he can't be a bully. He can, make fun of everybody, but really close, making fun of people's origin or culture." That's the line. And, but I don't want to take, and he said he traveling for some wedding, and I didn't want to make anything until he come back because he basically screw up things. In any case, my point is, let me make a final remark about this because I said 10 times black, 15 times white, and all the colors. My point is not about black and white. When we are told we are privileged for belonging to some culture, some ethnic groups, we tend to pretend that's not true. I was privileged. I live in a very integrated society, but I was one of the major. My father belonged to one of the major ethnic groups, Central Highland, more educated, Christian. So I had privilege for belonging there, and actually I didn't understand most of them until I came here. And I don't know. I'm sorry for being very disorganized. And I would like to tell you one thing my professor used to say. Being about affirmative action, he was saying it's like to say, we don't need affirmative action in this 21st century. Is someone who has been cheating, playing poker or something for 500 years and say, oh, I'm not cheating anymore, so let's just start. And I'm just saying, I'm trying to self-reflect and probably my story could help. And probably the last thing I would say is I really appreciate all of you. You guys are awesome. And what makes us human, what makes us educated is to fight for others, right? I mean, for people who don't look like us. So I'd like to congratulate you all. You are awesome. And thank you for your patience.
Students come all around the world to America to seek for the best education here, and oftentimes immigrant students get the worst treatment. And America belongs to all of us, and so it is our job for BAM to defend all students coming from anywhere in the world to fight for their rights to be here, because we believe that whoever is here to live here, to go to school here and work here, and contribute to the society here, they're all citizens, and they should deserve full rights and full respect and dignity.